Hello, I'm Marina Orms, the founder of Astrology Heals at astrologyheals.com. And I'm so glad that you've stopped by because today I want to talk to you about the future. There is a lot of collective anxiety and worry about the future. And astrology can help us get grounded in what's happening. It can help us understand and explain some of the reasons why we're feeling some of the things we are. One of the things that sometimes we look to astrology for is to give us the answers. And with any tool for healing, for self-awareness, for helping us grow into our full potential and be better people, as with any tool, it's not going to give us the answers. And that's because we're here to learn the answers ourselves. And the answers live within ourselves. And so astrology does not predict the future. It can give us a sense of the energies and what's happening in the energies and where the energies are headed, but it's not going to tell us the outcome of anything because, and that's the good news, right? Because the outcome is up to us. And so let's talk about what that really looks like in terms of astrology and how astrology really can inform us and help us understand what's going on, what it means, how to take care of ourselves, and how to be empowered, because the future by definition hasn't happened yet. And that means that there's still changes we can affect to help create the future. And that's our job as human beings, is we are working on determining what that future will be through our choices, our actions, our thoughts, our beliefs. And we have some old habits and patterns, ways of doing that are based in something that makes a lot of sense, but isn't really where our evolved selves need to be headed. So what makes a lot of sense is for us to look at what has scared us in the past and what we learned in the past about how to control our situations and circumstances in order to steer things in the way we want to go, or avoid the bad outcomes that we're afraid of. So if we're afraid of a tiger coming to eat us, we're going to build a house to keep the tiger out, that kind of thing. If we want to avoid getting sick, we're going to do the things we need to do to take care of ourselves to avoid getting sick. So that's a survival mentality. It's a very useful mentality. Survival is good. We want to start with survival, but then we want to evolve beyond survival into empowerment and into not just hanging in there and staying alive, but to actually being creative in our human capacity to think of new ideas, to create art, to create joyful experiences, and to experience pleasure and fun. And those are the kinds of things that we can step into when we're in this higher form of creation, going beyond survival mode into creative mode. And okay, so this part of ourselves that goes to fear, that goes to anxiety, that says, I'm afraid of something happening because I'm seeing the clues that lead me to believe that something bad might happen. And so we shut down. We shut down in fear. We go reactive. We go unconscious. We go into what we know. And some of what we know is to say, okay, tragedy is coming, therefore I need to shut down, stop all my systems, and hunker down and just think about my immediate survival. But what our times are really inviting us to step into is this higher level of creative envisioning of the future. And so we have what's happening astrologically is 3 outer planets, Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter, all currently in Capricorn. They all move slowly, especially Pluto, moves very slowly, spends many years in a sign. And Saturn spends about 2.5 years in a sign, and Jupiter spends about a year in a sign. So the 3 of them all together in the sign of Capricorn, and within just a very few degrees of each other, is the defining astrological alignment of 2020. And Capricorn energy and these 3 planets coming together is a strong indication that we are digging up the roots of something, to restructure, to reformulate, to at the very foundations dig into what is our power, what has been our power, and to create that in a new way that works better. So in the process of doing that, we have this breakdown, chaos, it feels like sometimes. I like to talk about Pluto as feeling like a bulldozer coming through, removing the ground out from under you so that you're left with what feels like nothing to stand on. But really what it's doing is it's saying, okay, you know, maybe this ground wasn't working for you so well, so let's get rid of it. And let's give you a chance to lay a new foundation, to lay new groundwork, to plant those new roots deeply and create systems and structures and foundations, a plan that is going to work better going forward. So that's what Pluto is doing. Saturn comes in. Saturn's got its confrontations with authority and authoritarianism, and specifically this feeling of the outside authority, a conflict between the outside authority and the inward authority, what we also call inner wisdom. And so our inner wisdom is being asked to lay its foundation more deeply, to say, okay, I trust myself. I trust this process. I trust what is happening, and I know what I need to do. And I'm not going to be distracted by what that outer authority is doing, or the ways that it's trying to control or manipulate me. That I'm just going to ignore that, and I'm going to trust what I am creating, and what I'm creating together with my the people I love and care about, with my community, with like-minded souls who are also wanting to create these wonderful changes going forward for our future, creating a world where we live in respect for our environment, for where our food comes from, for how we treat the planet and experience its climate, for how we treat one another as fellow human beings, and provide opportunities that are equal for all people, and how we can work together to see and benefit from the good in one another and the gifts that we all have to share. So that's what we're working toward. That's what we're creating in the midst of this breakdown and this chaos. So, so it's asking us to trust that inner wisdom, and to keep working on what it is we're creating, what it is we want, and not get distracted by the outside messages that, by the way, are also internalized. We have unconscious programming, messages that we've taken on from childhood or wherever it comes from, that are wanting us to believe that we're not good enough, to believe that we're not strong enough, to believe that we don't have the creative will or ability to move through a difficult situation and come out stronger on the other side. So, so we have to recognize where those voices are and see them for what they are. Okay, voice of authority that tells me I'm not good enough. Thank you for sharing that, but I'm not going to listen to that right now. I'm going to choose to listen to the part of me that has been guiding me along all my life, telling me who I am, telling me what direction to go in, telling me how to heal. We need to trust those voices right now. And so we have these 3 outer planets in Capricorn. We have Mars currently in a square. So Mars is retrograde. It went forward, passing through a zone that is in a 90-degree relationship to those 3 planets. 90 degrees just means that, for instance, when the sun is setting and the moon is directly above, they're 90 degrees apart. They're in a full circle, 360-degree circle. 1/4 of that is 90 degrees. So that just means that Mars is 90 degrees away from the 3 planets, Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter, all in Capricorn. And Mars has already gone through a square earlier this year in Aries. It is now retrograde, passing back through the zone of that square. In other words, there's a zone because there are 3 planets in Capricorn. It's going to square each one as it passes through there. And through what we call the stellium. So the stellium has its own energy as the 3 are there together in Capricorn. So Mars is squaring, creating a conflict or something that is pushing us. It's saying, okay, here's a choice that you have to make. And the choice is, are you going to take a stand? Are you going to find your courage, your Aries action, your Aries ability to do what you need to do, to move, to move forward on something, to get involved in what you believe in and what's important to you and take action on it. Are you going to do that, or are you going to let yourself be overpowered by that Mars energy, by that external authority that would like to have you believe that you are powerless, that the game is already over, that you've been defeated? And that's certainly not the case. So, of course, I am talking in not so veiled terms about our democracy and the upcoming election and the fears and anxieties that we might have around what's happening there. But the deeper message here, and that's the collective reality. That is the reality that we collectively are in and experiencing. But the deeper truth here is that all of this is here to push us to evolve. And as we evolve, as we step into the greater power that we are and that we have to determine where the future is heading and to be involved creatively, interactively, actively, and being engaged with agency to make that claim on the future and to say, this is what I want, this is what I'm putting my effort, my energy, my beliefs, and my energy into, my focus. So that's the lesson. And what we can see from astrology also is that we are heading into planets will be moving out of Capricorn. Capricorn is the sign of authority and authoritarianism, and they're going to be moving into Aquarius, which is the sign of rebellion, revolution, freedom, equality, equalitarian values, and by the way, there are a lot of parallels between our time right now and what was happening in the 1770s. You might recall that was a time also of strong determination in terms of our history, of how our country, but also the values of democracy, the values of equality and freedom got put in place by people who chose that, by people who were willing to put their lives on the line for that principle. And so hopefully you won't have to put your life on the line, but you are in a place of making a choice where you stand, what's important to you, how you're going to contribute to the outcomes you want to see, and to not get distracted by the old fears, those old survival patterns that say there's nothing you can do to fix this. That just don't listen to that message, because it's losing in its power. The power really is in your stepping into higher consciousness, higher and greater ability to be creative, to problem solve. And that is what I'm seeing so much, is that we are really stepping into it, not just being a few voices in the wind, saying that we should think about our planet. We need to think about what's going to happen in the future. Now those voices are getting stronger, more clear, more determined. And that's where the energies are also leading us, is that we really need to make some choices that are going to be more sustainable for our future. And that a lot of people want that. So connect with those people and work together with them to create that future. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Marina Orms, the founder of Astrology Heals at astrologyheals.com. You can learn more about me. I do readings, looking at your chart and how all of this fits in for you personally. You can check all of that out at astrologyheals.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.